Hello and welcome to today's event. I am Action Industry Marketing Specialist Jason Naxted. And before we get going, if you look down at the bottom of your screen, you should see some icons. From there, you can ask questions, request a demo, and view any of the resources attached to this presentation. Today's event, Smarter Decisions, Faster Growth, Phocas Analytics for Infor users. With ever-increasing business complexity, planning your company's financial future doesn't have to be uncertain. With the right business planning and analytics platform, planning is faster, less of administrative burden, and can be more connected to your entire organization. Reminder, at the end of the presentation, we'll have time for questions. You can scan a QR code with your mobile device and get a demo for yourself or your company. And today's presenter is account executive for Phocas Software, Alexa West. So Alexa, without any further ado, take it away.
Thank you, Jason, for the awesome intro, as always. I'm Alexa West. I'm an account executive here at Phocas. Been here for the past 3 years, and in that time, I've had the privilege of working with hundreds of distribution organizations, helping them turn their business data into something that's actionable and gives you insight so you can make better and smarter, faster day-to-day decisions. For the last 2 years, I've worked specifically with Infor customers. So seeing firsthand the unique challenges you and your peers are facing when it comes to reporting. And I'm really passionate about working with customers and working for Phocas and helping teams move beyond static reports to use data to drive meaningful conversations and decisions across the business. Phocas itself is a business intelligence and financial planning platform built specifically for distributors. So I think what makes us stand out is how easy it is to use. You don't need to be technical to explore the numbers, to drill down, or to build dashboards. And teams can really self-service the data that they need exactly when they need it without having to rely on IT. So very excited to walk you through what this looks like for Action customers and how we're helping your peers today make smarter decisions for faster growth. All right, and just for a quick agenda, in this session, we'll explore how to tap into your Infor data to boost efficiency and uncover actionable insights, identify trends, gaps, opportunities across sales, inventory, and purchasing, and shift from static reports and spreadsheets to more dynamic reporting with Phocas. And I love this slide because this is our tagline here at Phocas is we want to make people feel good about data. And from the people that we work with to our customers, to how we support our customers, we genuinely love our tools and love hearing from customers how it's impacting their businesses and not only improving their day-to-day, but their bottom line as well. And just for a little bit of background on Phocas, if you're not yet familiar, Phocas is a global organization. We've been operating since 2001, so about 24 years here, almost 25. And we started off as an analytics platform, but expanded our product offerings to solve for many of the challenges that we were seeing across our distribution customers when it comes to reporting, analysis, and even budgeting. So we actually started, we actually started working in the Infor market back in 2018 and really invested in our footprint and expanding our team to help support our Infor customers over the years in that time. And through working with the customers, we found many of them were looking for an easy point-and-click reporting tool, something that every department could use and benefit from, whether it's sales, purchasing, finance, or the executive team, because Infor systems, they capture a tremendous amount of data, but customers were often left relying on spreadsheets or custom-built reports that end up being static and is still kind of struggling to find that flexibility and visibility that they need to make those informed decisions. So since that time, we built a really strong presence in the Infor space, and it has truly been a privilege to work alongside the Action team to help support our mutual customers as well. So the Action team brings a really deep ERP expertise and trusted relationships with their client. And together, we've been really able to help distributors get the insights they need to run their businesses more effectively. And And today, we're really proud to support more than 170 Infor customers and growing. And we've developed several integrations for CSD, SXE, Fax, and A+. So regardless of what ERP you're working with today, Phocas has a solution to help. And the Phocas platform brings together all of your data and all of your people so that everyone in the business can do more. So if you look at that far left side, you'll see we're pre-integrated with Infor's ERPs like CSD, SXE, Fax, A+. We have solutions and out-of-the-box integrations that we can stand up really quickly for our customers. But we're also data agnostic. So at the bottom there, it highlights that we have 200 plus integrations. So really our goal is to become a single source of truth for your business data. So we have customers bringing in and consolidating not only their, excuse me, their ERP data, but their CRM data or payroll data, things like that, that we can bring into one platform. The middle section here outlines our core products. So our core analytics tool for sales and operations, our financial statements tool, and our budgeting and forecasting, our rebates, even a CRM. And these are all a la carte, meaning our customers can kind of pick and choose what package makes sense for them and when. Start small and then grow and really adopt the full Phocas suite when they feel like they can really make an impact in some of those different areas. And then on the far right side, we have, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, if anyone didn't notice. But on that far right side, we have how Phocas is impacting different folks within the business. So your CEO and your board, they can now have access to pre-built automated reports and alerts tailored to their specific needs. They're informed. They can drill down into underlying data and make decisions based on actuals. The CFO and the finance team, they can spend less time collecting, formatting, working with the data, and more time analyzing the information and steering the business. Sales and operations, they can dive into customer details, identify trends and insights, and analyze their performance. And really, again, our goal is to be a single source of truth for your organization. And there's really so many hours in a day, and manual reporting, data entry, and spreadsheet workarounds can eat up a lot of that time. Your team's roles are critical, and not every task that they do day to day has the same level of value. According to McKinsey's Reducing Data Costs Without Jeopardizing Growth, up to 40% of daily business reports add little to no value. And if organizations provide employees with self-service business intelligence capabilities, it would be easier for employees to track KPIs, and these wasted efforts would be dramatically reduced. There's another statistic. It is a finance effectiveness benchmark report in 2017. They conducted a PwC that found that top performers operate at a lower cost, not by reducing service levels, but by standardizing and simplifying their core processes and systems, enabling them to free up resources to focus on business partnering. And I see this a lot. So many companies are struggling with the finance department being a service provider instead of being that true business partner. The finance function mainly provides basic accounting and reporting services, and they might not have a whole lot of time left to focus on value creating activities like data analysis and using data to build a strategy to grow the business and critical decisions. So in order to free up time and achieve greater internal data visibility, the basic core processes need to be lean and effective. And when finance department spends more time analyzing the data rather than gathering it, they can truly become that business partner that the business needs. And from working with so many Infor customers, I see that there are a few different approaches when it comes to tackling reporting. Infor, again, captures a ton of detail, but like most ERPs, the reporting aspect can pose a challenge for organizations. And most companies try a few different paths to solve these different challenges. One, relying on manual workarounds, like Excel, exporting business data and manipulating it with Excel or an Excel plugin. Some opt for tools similar to report writers, where they can maintain hundreds of static reports, but often that leaves you relying on a single reporting expert in the business, kind of creating that bottleneck, or even outside of the business as well. And then some also rely on the help of a third party for custom written reports, again, leaving you reliant on one expert whenever you need a custom or an ad hoc report. So the challenge is that your departments and decision makers often have to comb through spreadsheets or wait for responses to get the information they need, slowing them down and limiting their ability to take fast action. And Excel is one of the most widely used tools in business, and for good reason. It's flexible, it's familiar, and it's powerful for ad hoc analysis and quick calculations. Most finance and sales and operations teams rely on Excel as the foundation for reporting, planning, and budgeting. But as your businesses grow and scale and data becomes more complex, relying heavily on manual Excel-based reporting introduces some challenges. So manual entry and formulas make it easy for small mistakes to lead into bigger problems. You can spend a significant amount of time pulling, cleaning, and reconciling the data rather than analyzing it. Manually updating spreadsheets can leave you relying on outdated data. By the time you go to build and pull that report, it could be outdated. And it often leaves you, again, reliant on one individual in the business to provide those reports to everyone. And then when reporting is manual, the leadership team really lacks that real-time insight to proactively plan and adjust business strategy in real time. So I think Excel will always have its place for quick analysis and flexible modeling. And when it comes to being the backbone of business reporting, the risks start to outweigh the convenience as you begin to scale. So that's kind of where automated connected tools like Phocas can really help, giving you and your departments and your teams accuracy, visibility, and control without losing that flexibility of reporting that teams love. And we have some great stats on this page here. So I think with Phocas being able to cut down that time from when we're looking to data to when we're finding it and finding insights into it, it can really lead to real results like increased sales opportunities by 40%, 70% decrease in report requests to IT, reporting speed tenfold, decrease in administration costs, cutting your month-end close time in half. There's a lot of real value when it comes to the speed of getting the information you need. And then also finding ways to grow your business faster as well, which we'll touch on in the demo portion today. But this next slide, I'd love to ask the group, what today is your biggest reporting challenge? Is it A, collecting data, B, reviewing data, C, reconciling data, D, updating minor changes, or E, all of the above? And I'll leave a few moments here for everyone to go ahead and submit their answers. And I can take a drink of water as well. Jason, if you have visibility into the answers that start coming through, please let me know.
Will do.
We'll give it a few more moments here. Thank you to all that are participating. All right, Jason, did we capture the majority there?
I think so. I'll send you that data after this afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure if it was going to pull it up on the fly, but I guess we'll have to figure that one out. I have a feeling it's going to be E, all of the above, but that's just my 2 cents. Before I hop into the demo, I really love this visualization because I think it shows the true value of the Focus tools and how our customers are using it. And when you think about Excel, for example, it gets you to around level 3, where your data is organized, it's structured, and that's great, but it still takes time and effort to dig through and make sense of the report that you've run. Other tools might get you moved up to level 4, where you can now start to visualize your data and get those quick high level insights. But I think Focus really does combine all of these levels into one place and takes it a step further. So it's not just looking at a chart or a report, it's being able to follow your train of thought through the data, or you have a hunch about what's going on in the business, and Focus helps you explore and back up your story with real numbers, or even uncover something that you didn't know was there. So I think the real value comes in where it's the ability to move seamlessly from data to insight to action, all in one tool, without having to be technical or data savvy. All right. So for the demo here today, I want to stay on theme. And since our theme today is, excuse me, smarter decisions for faster growth, there's a few areas I want to really hone in on in the demo where Focus can help foster revenue growth in a couple of different ways, whether it's upselling current customers. So what products are they buying or not buying? Or if they're buying in this specific product category, what's a complementary item that I can offer to that customer to grow our sales? Maybe it's saving declining customers, or looking at customers that have churned and trying to get ahead of that. Maybe it's improving margins, reducing stock outs. So making sure that you have the right things on the shelf based off of your customer trends. Maybe it's reducing dead stock to free up some cash. I think there's a lot of real ways that Focus can help you improve your bottom line, and foster some significant growth. So those stats that I reviewed on the previous slide are true, and I can walk through a couple of those examples here in the demo portion, while also leaving you or anyone on the call with a good understanding of what Focus offers out of the box for Infor customers, and how it kind of the functionality works as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And we should be looking at a Focus dashboard. Go ahead and shrink that down a little bit for your view. But there's a couple different layers to Focus. We can start high level on a dashboard to get easy insights and drill all the way down into a reporting layer, and then all the way down into that raw transaction level detail that we're pulling into this tool. So if you take a look at my kind of home sidebar here, you'll see our core products, our analytics tool, our financial statements tool, our budgeting and forecasting, our rebates, and our CRM product. You'll also see here things like dashboards and favorites. So I'd say the core of our tool is all based off of our databases, where we're taking your raw data from, so let's say, your invoices, and building you a database for analyzing your sales information. Or our purchasing database is built off of your POs. We also have inventory, AR, and AP that come with this analytics solution. And this is really the bread and butter of Focus, and what makes us different from some other tools out there is our ability to slice and dice and do ad hoc reporting in these databases with your raw data. So not necessarily having to follow a specific train of clicks to run that report. I'd compare it more to like a Rubik's Cube within these environments. And then based off of the reports that you run in here, You can save them as favorites where for easy access, I want to save these specific reports. But what's great about favorites is they're not static. So yes, I can have this one report for easy access, but if I want to see it in a different way, or I want to drill down into it, this isn't a stopping point. This is a starting point for us. So we don't have to save 200, 300, 400 static reports. We can just save those core reports and then pivot from there. We also have our dashboards. This is my demo environment, so a ton of different examples in here, but basically taking the reports that you need and those KPIs that you need to manage, visualizing them and putting them onto one location from which you can, one, get your insights very quickly, but also drill into it as well. And you can do this for any audience, so creating and customizing as many dashboards as you'd like. I see a lot of executive dashboards, sales manager dashboards, sales rep dashboards. I think customer scorecards have a ton of value for outside reps, having those conversations on the fly backed by data with their customers as well. It makes for a better customer experience and also helps you grow and potentially upsell your customers. So I figured I'd start at the top here today on a dashboard. And this one is really centered around sales. So a couple different opportunities I really want to hone in on this dashboard. But really what we're doing here is getting a 50,000 foot view of our business from a sales manager perspective. So things that I might want to see are, where am I at year to date? What's my margin? How's my month to date in my margin? How's my team performing? Where are we to our budget year to date and month to date? And then we start getting into some more things where Phocas Analytics really do come in. And these are some examples that I'll hone in on in the database environment. But a lot of our customers today are identifying churning customers with a lost customer report who hasn't bought from us in 12 months. What's a little bit more difficult is running a declining customer report. So seeing a trend of customers purchasing less and less over a period of time. In order to identify them, reach out and see what's going on. And it might be by design. Maybe they have a lot of seasonality to their business and they're declining because we're expecting a huge order in December. But that's an answer that I can go find once I start to drill into this report. We also have cross-selling opportunities is one that I think every single one of my customers is benefiting from. So I think for distribution companies, regardless of what industry you're in, there's examples of a particular pipe and a valve where if they're buying this specific product, they should be buying this product. Or this demo environment is in a lights and illumination electrical distribution company, and fluorescents and ballasts are two product categories where if I have a customer buying one and not the other, they're buying it from my competitor. So I need to figure out who those customers are and have my sales team have that conversation with them. You can also put different databases, so not just sales onto this dashboard, but we can also start to bring in some stock detail. So maybe these dead stock items, we're going to be running a special and we want to push them at a discount to make some room in the warehouse. So we can bring some of these things to our reps' attention, or our sales team's attention. But these dashboards are also filterable. So let's say I want to focus on my top rep here, Judy Kelly. I'm going to focus on her, and all of these widgets here on the dashboard are going to update to my click here for Judy. So now I can see where she is year to date, month to date, how she's performing to budget, what opportunities Judy has out there. And then I can start getting into her performance. So what I love about this section here that I created is I created a fixed widget here that calculates our averages across the organization. So our average value per invoice, our margin, and our product classes. And then as I start making selections for customers, I can start seeing some opportunities where I can improve an already high performing customer to help find some hidden opportunities. So let's say I'm meeting with Judy Kelly. she has a meeting this week with her customer, Jeannie, for example. So Jeannie performance exhaust, let's focus on that customer. Now I can see if the customer is it declining? Are there any cross-selling opportunities? Doesn't look like it, but doesn't mean that we can't find an area to improve. And looks like they're doing really well on their average value per invoice, but looks like their margin is low. And why is that? So at any point within these dashboards, we can go ahead and drill into that report and get into the actual data behind it. So here's that report for Jeannie, performance exhaust, their margin, but what products are they buying from us over the last 12 months that gets us to that margin? So now for my sales rep for this customer, here's all the products they bought over the last 12 months by margin. So that 24 is the average. Let's go ahead and filter and sort and highlight some of those underperforming products. So that's just one kind of example here. We can also start looking at customer sales trends for that specific customer. We can see that seasonality trend if there is one. We can see what product groups they're buying or not buying. What products are they down on that we could potentially improve? A lot of different areas of opportunity, even from a dashboarding level. But that example that I just ran, you can drill into any one of these specific reports. So this year-to-date sales, I want to go ahead and start analyzing data within my sales environment. So one of the examples that we ran was a cross-selling opportunity. So I want to see what customers are buying one particular product category and not the other. So what I might do is I'm going to change my time period to a rolling 12 because I want a big capture of data. I'm going to go ahead and change my period, which is breaking out all my customers by value across that time period of 12 months. I'm just going to go ahead and hit total to clean that up and look at my total local value. And I'm going to go down to my product subclass. So this is where I can see my fluorescents and my ballasts. And I can do a quick pivot table. So if you're familiar with Excel, I can hit this matrix button and turn these rows into columns that'll follow me up through my clicks. So now if I go back up to customer, now it's taken my customers and whittled it down to those that are either buying ballasts or fluorescents. And we can start seeing some zeros here, but I want to find all my customers that are buying ballasts from me, but not fluorescents. So I could actually right click and use some of the analytics capabilities in this tool to say, I want to see where fluorescence equals 0. And now I have 46 customers now that are buying my ballasts and not my fluorescents. So I could share this out with the team via PDF, Excel. I can email it straight from this tool, or I can go ahead and add it to that dashboard. So when they filter on their name or when they log in and they see their permissions, they can see what customers they need to call on to potentially, capture that revenue that we're missing out on here or figure out where they're buying it from. So that was just one example, but if you're not familiar with Phocas, I'll talk through this environment here. I just hit reset. We're pulling one directionally from your Infor data. So you can click and manipulate the data as much as you want without investing a whole lot of time in this environment. And then you can always hit reset and know that you're not affecting the source data as well. But we have our different dimensions here on the side, and these are all fields that we're picking up off of that invoice, like customer. So we're looking at our 1,700 customers by local value broken out by the months of a rolling 12-month period. And it looks like we have $67 million there. If I want to see that 67 million in value broken out by sales rep, there's that 67 broken out by my reps, or maybe broken out by customer type, or broken out by product class. There's that 67 broken out by my product classes, or even by my products. So we're just re-summarizing the way we're looking at the data. And then we also have filters here at the top. So I already kind of talked through, really easy to change the time period that you're looking at and reporting on. We can also say, hey, I want to see what our customers are doing this year versus last, and toggle into a variance mode where I can see our current, our previous, and then who's growing and by what percent. Here are our top growing customers and our top declining customers over the last 12 months. We can also see just a quick total and then start to bring in things like, instead of value, I want to see margin and profit. So these measures are also being picked up off of that invoice for us to go ahead and report on as well, or even quantity. But instead of looking at quantity for my customer shipped to, I want to focus on Tallahassee, this customer. I want to see what products they're buying in my illumination category. I'm going to focus on that. And then I want to get down to all the products underneath that product category. Or I only want to see the products from a specific supplier. So I'm going to focus on OSRA. Focus. Now I'm going to my products. So 226 products that we're buying in this product class from this supplier for this customer by value, quantity, profit, and margin. I didn't really have a specific example in mind, but hopefully that exercise you can see the flexibility in this environment to know what you're looking for and being confident to know that you can click a couple buttons and run the report that you're looking for. Also worth noting is underneath all of these numbers here, I have my raw transaction level, invoice level detail. So I, at any point, can click on a product, or if I wanted to see all those invoices for that customer for, let's say, month to date, I can go ahead and click transactions and see all that invoice order level detail. So now I don't necessarily need to invest the time combing over of a 40-page report. I can whittle down my clicks into what exactly I'm looking for and get to that data very, very easily, all within this one single tool. So I'm going to hit reset there. Same thing goes for the other examples of, declining customers or churning customers. I think, what customers are doing this year versus last year, how I can go ahead and find that variance in between. And then we can do the same thing for margin as well in this environment. But I also wanted to run through a quick kind of purchasing and stock example as well. I do have another dashboard pulled up here that I tweaked and created where it's really more focused towards purchasing and seeing what stock we have, what's moving, what's not. But again, we can combine customer data and inventory and purchasing data into one location to give you the full picture of what do we need to have in stock for these customers. Again, we have different filters here at the top. So if we want to just focus on what's in a specific warehouse, or we want to search for a product, or start doing, or maybe we're on the phone with a supplier and we want to have a conversation about what we're stocking and how things are trending for them. But really easy visualizations for value, what's in transit, back order, forward order, but also highlighting high turnover products. And maybe we want to focus on these specific products to really grow our revenue. And who are we selling these products to and why? And how can we recommend these products to other customers? We can also do calculations. I like this example here where we can do a couple calculated columns to find our months in stock. So looking at the stock quantity we have on hand, bringing in some sales information of what did we sell over the last 12 months, making that average calculation of how many that we sold per month, and then calculating how many months we likely have in stock, and then bringing in the stock value as well. So this could be really helpful to get visibility into for a purchasing perspective. We can look at stock detail by warehouse. Really just making it easy to run these reports in that environment and putting the relevant information that you guys need into one dashboard and hopefully making that process a little bit easier. The last thing I really wanted to highlight, and just looking at the time, we have about 10 minutes left, is how we can go ahead and look at our customers and our accounts to game plan how we're going to grow these customers and how we're going to spot declining or churning customers, for example. And we have actually a new product that we're rolling out to quite a few customers where, and this is feedback that I've gotten over the last couple of years, is we know Phocas makes it easy for us to go in and find these opportunities by applying the logic we have in our mind and making it easy for us to navigate in an environment. But how can we be more proactive about highlighting risky customers or account planning for our top performing customers? And through taking in that customer feedback, the Phocas team has developed a tool called Insights, where we've developed a customer segmentation dashboard that uses all the data that you have in your environment and averages to find who's buying from you most frequently, most recently, and how high value of a customer are they, to segment them into buckets where we have our champions, our loyalists, customers that we cannot lose. So high value customers that haven't bought from us recently. How can we highlight those? At-risk accounts, hibernating accounts, et cetera. So I'm going to walk you through the setup because this will make a little bit more sense when we start looking at this. So what we're doing is we're taking a stream of data, so your sales data from your environment. Actually, do I want this Sales Smarter Auto? I'm going to switch to this Phocas Sales one because I know this one's in USD. There we go. So we're pulling your data from a stream that we already have in Phocas, and we're allowing you to choose those dimensions that we were looking at earlier. So our customers, our property is name, and then we're going to be looking at value, and we're looking at a currency of dollars. So once we decide what data that we're analyzing on this dashboard, we can now choose the setup. So do I want 5 groups and make it very simple, or do I want 10 for a more robust look at how we're segmenting these customers? Hit next. And this is where we're taking the data that you have in your environment to know what good and bad looks like for you. So out of all of my transactions across my customers, anyone that's purchasing 266 times or above a year in a 12-month period is considered a very frequent buyer. And anyone purchasing less than 12 times in a year is considered very infrequent. So Phocas is actually populating this for you. If you have different divisions that they might not tee up or level up in the same playing field, you can also manually edit and change what these brackets are based on, I'm looking at this specific division in my organization and I measure it a little bit differently. This is all flexible to set up, but across the entire capture of your transactions, it's going to go ahead and populate what these brackets are. So that's how, excuse me, how frequently our customers are buying from us. But next we want to see what is considered a high value customer. So anything over 57,000, very high value per one transaction. Any transaction lower than 2,000 is going to be considered low. And then same thing for recency. So this person, this company went ahead and made a transaction with us in the last 3 days. They're very, very recently engaged with us. But customers that we haven't engaged with in 150 days, we need to see who those people are. So it's taking these 3 measures and putting it on an XY axis for you and putting all of your customers into one of these buckets. So recency on the bottom here on the X-axis, less recent engagements would be considered hibernating customers, or more recent would fall into this category. But as we go up, we start to look at the frequency and the value. So this hibernating bucket are not very frequent, they're not very high value, and they haven't bought from us recently. So maybe these 450 people are the people I enroll in a specific marketing activity to try and engage with them, but they're not necessarily the people I want my reps going hard after. As I go up here, though, I want to spend the most time with my highest value customers. And right off the bat, I see 10 customers that are high value and buy pretty frequently from us, but they haven't bought recently. Why is that? So these 10 customers are someone I can proactively go after to say, who are they? What do they typically do with us? And why haven't they engaged with us recently? So what we've done is we can link these customers to that customer scorecard dashboard that I was talking about, where you can start digging into their trends, their activities. Again, maybe there's a little bit of seasonality involved of, hey, this is why they're in that category where they haven't bought recently, is because we're expecting a big win next month. But at least we can get ahead of it and start having that conversation before the competition has the chance to swoop in. And we can also look at our champions too. So who are those highest value customers? It looks like this category has grown. That means we've done a really good job of engaging potentially with our loyalists to grow them into champions. But again, even our top customer here might have opportunities for us to go ahead and grow. So we can always go ahead and dive a little bit deeper. So I think this insights tool, what it's helping our customers do is account planning and building a strategy of how they're proactively reaching out to customers and giving them an opportunity to find some at-risk accounts, can't lose accounts that they can potentially repair that relationship with, for example. And I've done a few demos with our current customers, showing them this new tool. And I think every single one of them has identified who those champions are, and they could identify a couple of those can't lose. Hey, we actually broke up with this customer because of this, and this reason. It makes sense why they're in that category. But there's also some they didn't know about. So I think this tool is really going to be helpful in improving customer churn and also customer growth as well. All right, so that is everything I have prepared here to show you today. A little taste of Phocas, how to navigate in the environment, and a couple opportunities for growth. Let's see, I think we have, we have this great quote from Ken from Litex. Phocas makes it easy to find the hidden data to help us better understand why products might be trending down in sales, or to address underperforming vendors or sales reps. So again, giving you the data that you need to follow a hunch of, what's going on in your business. Your reps know what's going on with their customers, but giving them a tool to go ahead and see why things are happening and how they can improve them. We have another question slide here. Curious what the attendees on today's meeting are using for their BI and analytics. A is Infor's Burst. B is Excel. I think everyone uses Excel. C is F9 for Infor's financial reporting. D, just pulling reports out of Infor. E, Phocas. F, other. Yeah, leaving a couple more seconds here for anyone else to submit. Looks like we got captured most of it, if I'm reading that right. Jason, let me know if I should move on or not.
Yeah, you can probably go to the next slide, Alexa.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone, for participating in that. Oh, yes, this one's you, Jason.
Yeah, back to me. Thank you, Alexa. So I know you're all Action customers, but just a little aside, if in case you didn't know what all we offer: application consulting, managed services, application hosting, remote monitoring, backups, network engineering, software engineering, website design and development, collaboration, cloud technologies, custom application development, virtualization, security, CRM, web enablement, e-commerce, and Action Link products. Also, Action, largest North American distributor for Infor, 25 plus year gold partner for Infor. Our 2020 Infor Circle of Excellence partner, supporting over 700 Infor distribution partners, distribution customers like yourselves. Deep rooted expertise in distribution, light manufacturing, warehouse operations, and e-commerce skills. Key industries include industrial, building materials, electrical, PHVAC, paper, Jansan, food and beverage. We employ almost over 225 plus professionals to serve customers just like you. We have a 24-hour tier 1 hotline support and full software support, 8 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you to everyone for hanging out with us today. Thank you from the Action team as well as Phocas. We appreciate you hanging out. We know your day is busy, and we greatly appreciate the fact that you took time out of your day to come hang out with us and learn something new about one of our great software vendors. If you have your cell phone handy or mobile device, go ahead and scan that QR code there. Speak with an Action or Phocas expert and get a demo for yourself or your company. Get in touch, hello@phocussoftware.com, or book a demo at phocussoftware.com/book-demo. Once again, Alexa from Phocas, thank you. And thank you from Action. I'm Jason Nackstead, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jason. Bye, everyone.